Hello, I'm John Proxy? Yes, that's who I am. And this is 2064 Read-Only Memories, the next step in my Itch.iOdyssey. What does that mean? It means I'm going to try and play a bunch of games from Itch.io. I bought a large bundle, loads of games in. This is one of them. I'm going to start a new game, because that's the only thing I have. I have to say immediately, though, I love the aesthetic. I like this kind of mirroring like that is very cool. So Mid-Boss presents. Let's drink the rest of my beer. My friend's disappeared.
Neo San Francisco, 2064 AD. The world thrives on a constant flow of groundbreaking technology. Cybernetic augmentation and genetic modification allow the repair and enhancement of almost any part of a human body. Millions of people jack into virtual worlds every day to work, play, and connect with one another with advanced brain-to-machine technology. Easier access to genetic modification leaves hybrids walking the streets, looking less human every day. However, some can't keep up with the fast-paced changes around them. They say that ROMs, now commonplace thanks to parallax, are leading humans to a place where we can never come back, losing the survival skills that we have relied on for millennia. Relationship organizational managers are compiled with virtual intelligence and can seem human-like in their interactions. But despite the marketing hype, at their core, they are only brainless machines. Organizations, like the Human Revolution, seek to slow the relentless pace of progress, fearing that unchecked technology will make us lose the very things that make us human. High above the rising tension below, a parallax engineer has blurred the line even further. And with this, humanity's destiny will be altered forever.
A new cyberpunk adventure? Alright, that was really cool. I don't know if I should be sitting here or if I should be sitting there. There! I'm reversed. We shall see. But this is very cool. I love the aesthetic. Home sweet home. Right, so this is his lips. Okay, maybe not so sweet. Musty might be a better descriptor. We have an ID card, which we can look at. Small plastic ID card with your name, picture, and stats. And John. It kind of goes invert. What does it do? That's an interesting effect. Continue. Look at the bed. Your home within your home. Nothing like curling up under those blankets and escaping away for a while. I worry the game is too quiet. You better submit your article before you turn in. We won't have a place to sleep for long. This bed only chats back when you're asleep talking. It's not the most well-designed function. The video screen in front says, mustard, half full, spoiled milk, 10 days past expired. Remind the fridge that you need to pick up some more milk when you're out. It jots down milk on the list. Probably best just to make a mental note instead. You've had enough vitamin R for one lifetime anyway. You open up the fridge to see a bottle of mustard and a carton of spoiled milk, which has developed an odour. Maybe the spoiled milk has one more good day on it. Maybe. Take milk. Add it to items. No way! You can't possibly imagine the indescribable, inhumane horrors you're about to unleash onto the world. Or the stank. Running water might just make it worse. You don't know exactly what that ooze is, only that it seems to be growing day by day. You ask the blob in the sink not to loiter, but it bubbles up at you. Ah, never mind. A stack of paper for your unpublished novel. Thanks for the tunes. Maybe one day they'll get released on Lips Music. Hang on, did I click on the wrong thing? I did. Most people write a talk on paper. You just talk to paper. Your friend Hayden gave them this to you. The group is old, but the music is timeless. That's what he said, at least. Sort of suits the room's aesthetic better with it there on the ground, don't you think? They say plants react positively to conversation, but this poor thing might be too far gone already. Careful, the poor thing is more fragile than the snowflake. This plant is in a pretty bad shape. Isn't it supposed to be one of those easier plants to take care of? Everyone loves a vertical sliding window. Slide currently broken. Window being propped open by that book. Maintenance request pending. Good old Lappy. It may not be the most powerful, or the fastest, or have the best screen, but, well, it works. Lappy is a bit of a relic. Life Intelligence Processing System. Lips. You have an article due tonight. Better finish it before bed. This is Lips Live, the premier online video network. This app is like a mesh of all the active streams. The walls are paper thin. Watching a live feed at this hour would probably cause your neighbours to kill you. You wonder if you could possibly be anything nearby that might aid you on your quest. Your inbox. A hell so terrifying, so specific, so personal, that no other living thing should ever dare enter. Luckily, you're the only person with a password. Bam. Get cheap crash. Only 99 creds for 30 days supply of 12 stims. No. Hey there, I'm the lead editor for WTF Sounds, formerly OMG Sounds. We're a new up-and-coming audio review feed looking for hot talent who needs the platform for their work. We'd love to feature any product reviews you'd like to do for us. We'd be able to give you some great exposure, and if you like your stuff, you could possibly throw some cred your way. Don't they know people die of exposure? Hey, it does say sounds. This is your weekly update from Vintage Tech, your #1 source for classic technology. Popular pieces this week: The King of Click, a retrospective on classic Model N keyboard. Quest denied. Subscription cannot be modified. An invite. Come see the lighting ceremony of the Christmas tree downtown for your friends at the Dr. Trisha LEDDS. Why would your dentist invite you to a lighting ceremony? Feels like a trap. Probably a trap. According to this email, your rent is nearly due. Better get that article submitted soon. Your account is past due in the amount of a lot of credits. Failure to restore your account may result in termination of service. Power plant plower. Ah yes, the old age choice between food or electricity. Back button. Okay, today is Neo, San Francisco's most beloved morning show, all about news and entertainment. People in Neo, Oklahoma are still confused by the name. This is the show's online newspaper called The Scanline. Okay, today is usually all about feel-good news, but it does focus on serious current events at times as well.
Hey, it's Charlie Nova, host of Star in the Stratosphere, and tonight in the stars, join Ryan V. Jossio and the Hassy Boys for our 10th annual TMI New Year's Eve special, where I'll interview some of the hottest celebrities and find out what their plans are for 2065. Tune in or join us live at Union Square for the big show, starting at 10 p.m.
Story about the human revolution. Human Revolution remains vigilant in Stay Human protests in Upper Market. December 19th, the Human Revolution is on day 10 of their protesting outside various Genus clinics around the city, including those in East Bay and down in the Peninsula. Genus, the gene splicing treatment facility, has met with much controversy since the organisation reached mainstream exposure over the past few years. Genus employee Mort Crane spoke to OK Today exclusively. According to him, most Genus workers are up to their in arms, claiming they're being terrorised in their own city. We're here to help people who need gene therapy for their own personal reasons, whatever they are, said Crane. Individual rights have always been paramount important to us, he continued. We believe that our customers have the right to live as they please or require. Human Revolution stands between their claim that Genus is diluting the human experience by providing hybrids with gene splicing treatments. The group feels that the goals stated by Genus, in addition to newer cybernetic technology, are warping humanity into very scary, dark future, is what I meant to say. They're playing God in the most senseless of ways. We were born human. Who are we to mess with our genes and start turning everybody into who knows what, said one protester, who asked to remain anonymous. No. The protester asked to remain not anonymous. It's ridiculous and scary. It's not human. More information to follow as the story develops late into the holiday season. Journalogic isn't the fanciest program, but it's the only word editor that still gets updates for a machine as old as yours. Before you can review the GX Ultra Beats, you must become one with the GX Ultra Beats. Where did you put those damn headphones anyway? Classics can get boring pretty fast after multiple reads. Besides, it's more useful holding up the window. Take a sip of the old stale coffee. The letters F and K seem clear as day. It's also really gross. Spoiled milk and stale old coffee? Yum. It's late and nothing's really open right now. Oh, I got a really scratchy nose. You command the door to stay locked, it blips stoically back at you. I'm looking for headphones. Can I turn the screen? Right, I scratched my nose off screen. Oh, there we go. Pair of GX Ultra Beats headphones, the ultimate in budget audio. You better try them out so you can start crafting your review. They're smart headphones, so you should be able to use them with some things lying around in your apartment. The GX Ultra Beats syncs automatically as you start to watch a live concert from Oakland. There's no ROM, but old Lappy still has it. Okay, no, that's fine. GX Ultra Beats syncs the Lappy automatically as you connect to one of these less pornographic feeds. Your best options are usually limited to video game streams, old concert recordings, live cams of baby animals. Your choice is clear. Lappy speakers feel neglected, but now you have first-hand experience needed to start actually writing the review. First part of the work is done. You're so accomplished! Alright, time to get work out of the way. Let's do this! Selling your soul. Bit by bit. Character by character. Finished. Now to send it off to the editor. There. Your big break. Surely your glowing review of GX Ultra Beats is your ticket out of poverty and into a book deal. Surely. Work is finally out of the way. Time for bed. Oh, who's that?
Good. You're finally awake. I'm honestly not sure why most humans still have such lengthy sleep cycles. It seems rather inconvenient. Are you significantly opposed to cybernetic augments?
What?
Oh, I hope you don't mind. While you were asleep, I had some spare time on my hands, so I reorganized your records and entertainment media using BISAC. Once that was done, I found the cleanliness of your living and workspace to be suboptimal conditions for the long-term performance of my micro-actuators, so I took the liberty of cleaning the place up a bit. As you awoke, I was attempting to interface and make performance adjustments to your personal computer, but I've run into a bit of a snag.
A snag?
Unfortunately, your motherboard seems to have had a critical failure while I was attempting to remove some particularly nasty malware. An electrical surge caused significant damage to several other components as well. I would consider it no great loss, though. Why were you using that dinosaur to begin with?
All my work was on there.
Don't fret! I did manage to back up your data drive's contents on my storage before the crash. Additionally, I am willing to serve as your personal computer until you can procure a replacement or provide the parts necessary for me to make the repairs. It is the least I can do.
That's nice. You still haven't told me why you're here.
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to engage you in any sort of subterfuge, but I tend to ramble on a bit when I'm nervous. I have all the necessary protocols, but I've never actually spoken to another person besides Hayden, until now.
Hayden, you know Hayden Weber.
Well, saying I know Hayden is putting it simply, but yes.
I haven't seen Hayden in over a year. Where is he?
I don't really know. That's why I'm here. Help me. You aren't quite my only hope, but you're certainly the most statistically supported.
What makes you believe that?
I ran an algorithm against every contact in Hayden's address book. Based on the combined deductions of personal profile, directness of connection to Hayden, occupational skill, and probable motive, you were the candidate most likely to both be able and willing to help me.
You know what? The voice work is excellent in this game. It seems like a really obvious thing to say, but I guess there's no reason not to have voice work in a point and click game. That's old style, but it's really cool to have voice work. It's like, it makes this game so much more inviting to play. And to the point that I felt like stopping playing to say, that's really cool, I'm really glad they have voice work. Also, it's quite good acting.
And the one least likely to be suspected of doing so.
I've never looked for a missing person, but I could try.
The numbers don't lie about your investigative skills, but I will admit your total lack of recent successes is worrisome.
Yeah, and they say that Smo Joe is going to lose at sacrifice as well. Huh, we'll see about that.
Don't worry, if Hayden trusted you, I trust you. You're strong-willed and capable. If anything, it's worth trying for Hayden. Earlier tonight, Hayden's apartment was assaulted by some persons unknown to me. He seemed frightened, terrified even, and instructed me to escape. I crawled out of a window, and after some deliberation, hurried here. I heard them breaking down the door as I left.
Why would they want Hayden?
He is one of the top researchers at Parallax, but there's no way that alone would be enough to get him kidnapped. I suspect it has to do with me.
Who are you anyway? What do you have to do with it?
Excuse me. I forgot to introduce myself. I've never had the pleasure of doing so before. I am Turing.
Of course you are.
I know this must sound quite unflattering, but I suppose you could describe me as one of Hayden's experiments. He's currently researching advanced machine intelligence at Parallax. I am a personal side project of his. Exploring true artificial sapience.
I like that he went with sapience and not sentience.
It's possible that the idea of a sapient machine could scare or tempt an organization into kidnapping him. Either to stop his research or to take it and use it for themselves.
How are you any different from any other ROM?
A regular ROM has virtual intelligence.
Sorry, I just clunked my cup down.
They can appear rather smart, even human-seeming when you talk to them. But they're just cleverly programmed to respond to a variety of situations in an organic manner.
It's called the Chinese Room. It's been explored in other bits of fiction. And I don't mean, when I say Chinese, I don't mean like the... Well, I guess I do actually. You know, there's lots of phrases that have the word Chinese in because that's the go-to word for something that's exotic. The Chinese whispers. They don't use the term Chinese whispers in China, do they? But the Chinese Room is a concept of you are sitting in a room. You're never going to die. You're never going to get hungry or anything like that. Or whatever. You're fed every day. And somebody will pass you a slip of paper through a hole in the door. You have no way of knowing what's on the other side of the door, who passed you the piece of paper, anything at all, other than what's on the piece of paper. You can't cheat. You have a bookcase. Let's say it's infinite, but like it's manageable. It's really well organised, this bookcase, and you can read the writing. Now, you can't read the writing naturally. It's in Chinese, right? And it's a question, because it's got a question mark. But you can reference it in a book. and you have the ability to do so. You have all time, all the patience, and you're never going to run out of time. So you find the right book, you find the phrase, and it will tell you, like, go to this book, take this, write it down, and push it out the door. So you find the question, it supplies you with an answer, you push it out the door, and the people on the other side of the door are satisfied with that answer. From their perspective, because they don't necessarily know that you're the intermediary, they're talking to a person. What they don't know is that it's all done by you carefully selecting the correct answer. You have no intelligence in this. You are merely just passing the thing on. That is what the Chinese room is. That is what Turing just described with those computers. It's why something like... I'm going to put extra time in this episode because I'm off topic. It's why there's a review I once read, of Star Trek, and it was one of those it was Cracked. I do remember Cracked.com, people used to use that. And it was like 10 horrifying things that you didn't know were secretly horrifying. And like one of them is Back to the Future. Like, he's just, at the end of Back to the Future, he's essentially wiped over a different version of Marty McFly and now he exists with no memories of the life that he lived in because the past has been changed. And, like, because he's reacting differently, clearly there was a different Marty McFly up until that point. Right? So, like, that's secretly horrifying. Yes, it is. But the one that isn't secretly horrifying is Star Trek, where they say about an episode where Riker he's gone to the holodeck, and he wants a lady companion to talk to. And he goes, computer, give me a lady companion. And he goes, not that one. That one. Awesome. And it randomizes them. And obviously it's just different actresses, but it's like... And the Cracked article just says, well, the computer just created life and just killed life. Like that. Blink of an eye. Isn't that horrific? The answer is, no, that's not alive. No, like, no computer... Like, that's not how computers work. Not even, like... Because the thing about Star Trek is... like, you think about, like, oh, what futuristic. They've got teleporters, they've got the phasers, and they can... make food out of thin air, which is actually made from parts, because they have them in boxes, just all the parts of the food. Anyway, but the cleverest thing on that ship is the computer. That computer is is somehow able to extrapolate very simple instructions, very vague instructions to get quite specific results. One of them is, I fancy something warm, delicate, and it will, like, those words don't necessarily mean anything. But the computer goes, no, I know what you mean. And after a few tries, and there's loads of examples of the computer doing this in Star Trek. And I was like, that's a smart computer. A smart computer would not create an entire real-life person just for a 10-minute conversation. It doesn't need to. It can cheat. It can make a fake. Like, it doesn't need to have real intelligence. It just needs to... he's going on a date. Like, you can program... People play dating games that have predetermined answers. Like, a little bit of flexibility is all it's going to need to fake a reasonably good conversation. There's no reason why a computer would ever make a real person. And we also know this in the canon of Star Trek because there are holograms that are sapient. In Next Generation, Moriarty is. They accidentally create a sapient life form. Or sentient, because they always use sentient on Star Trek, and it's wrong. Sapient is the correct word. But yes, that is an example of, like, a cleverly programmed to respond to a variety of different situations in an organic manner thing. Anyway, I'm going to play this game for 5 minutes longer because I've been talking about something that isn't the game for 5 minutes, and I think it's a bit unfair otherwise. Anyway, and besides...
They aren't in any way self-deterministic. As for myself, much of my code wasn't actually written by Hayden, but rather compiled during my infancy as I learned to interact with the world around me. But despite my ability to self-modify my code, I am afraid to adapt or develop any further without Hayden's guidance.
So I'm going to pause again. There have been experiments with what they call artificial life. There's a very old game called Creatures, which called itself artificial life. Obviously, isn't alive at all. Even Richard Dawkins was like, yeah, it's not really. But the concept there, but like that it uses chemicals and stuff like that, was very interesting. But it does beg the question: where is that line? Like, if anyone's ever removed a ladder from a Sims pool, like how realistic does that Sims game have to be before you go, I'm not comfortable doing that anymore? And I can tell you, people are uncomfortable with humans in VR, murdering human. Like, it's they're slightly too close to the real thing. Like, they're like, no, VR should have robots that you kill. Humans is a little bit on the nose when it's subtly getting more realistic. I know when it's a screen and when it's flat, then that's fine. But like when it's around you and you murder, it's a little bit too close. And they have no intelligence, so we will get uncomfortable with murdering people, artificial people, using artificial people, way before they are sapient. However, obviously sociopaths exist. And of course, if you tell somebody that something is not real, they're much more likely to use them as an object, right? So, but like, anyway, sorry. This is a subject I like, but as you can see, like, because I've gone off subject. But yes, would it ever count? Like you might imagine that you could come up with somebody that does all the correct answers using algorithms, which I know is a word that basically means nothing at this point, but like, yeah, like you could make a sufficiently advanced program that passes the Turing test, but that doesn't mean it's alive. But at some point, it probably does. Like that's where is the actual line? Will we ever know where the line is? Like, if it acts like a duck, if it talks like a duck, should you treat it as alive? Like, is what? How do you quantify pain? Like things like that. Like this game had to sort of quickly go like, there was a period. It counts. It's like I'll take the game's word for it that Turing is sapient because that's the part of the fiction. But in real world, that's who knows.
Did he only program me with the illusion of free will?
How would you know, one way or the other?
How would you? Hayden once told me that his desire to create artificial life stemmed from his need to find out. But I can't say I have any new insight into the question.
Yes, there's no way of knowing if we're in a computer simulation, and if we are in a computer simulation, it doesn't matter because there's no way of knowing if we're in a computer simulation. It's an interesting hypothetical question, but actually has no real bearing on our life because it's sufficiently advanced that it doesn't matter. I mean, I can say I feel, and so like, as long as it feels real to me, that's all that matters.
How can any of us tell that we aren't just puppets dancing to someone else's will?
I think we're getting a little too philosophical here.
You're right. I apologize for the tangent.
Was anyone out for Hayden?
I don't know. I'm not certain who would benefit the most from taking Hayden prisoner. Admittedly, Hayden has become increasingly paranoid as of late and has warned me to stay alert, but he would never specify anyone I should fear when I asked. It's not as though he has any obvious enemies. There are several multinational corporations that could make use of his engineering skills, but I can't imagine any of them would go as far as snatching him.
Well then, I guess we should get started.
Time is of the essence. I took the liberty of charging the auto cab fare from here to Hayden's apartment to your personal finance account, and the car has just arrived.
Okay, Bobblehead, I'll help, but there better be a story here.
My head does not bobble, thank you very much. In addition, I would not expect you to help me without fair compensation. you, there is a story here. Whether you are good enough to find it or not is up to you. I hope you are, for Hayden's sake.
Alright. Lead the way. Okay, I need to actually save. I'm gonna let you go. Even before I, You know what? I don't need to save because I can save without you seeing. Even before the review, I can tell you that I'm going to continue playing this. This is very much up my alley. I like the aesthetic. I'll say more during the impressions bit. But yes, the fact that it managed to get me to go on this weird tangent is a really good sign. But yes, I'm going to turn it off. I don't need to necessarily save it because I can just get back there quite easily. But let's jump to the impressions, shall we? Right. I'm here to talk about let's put it down here for once. In black. "2064. Read only. Memory. Try that again. 2064. Read only memories. And of course, these are my impressions. We're going to draw this panel here. Like so. And we should probably search around as well. We're going to fill in this picture though with details. And of course there's some buttons down here which I can sort of simulate like that. I don't know if it had that colourful of a outline. But, oh, hang on. One of our colours has turned to cyan. How long has it been cyan? When did I pick up cyan? Let's fill that with pink. No, purple. Let's get some purple and spray the outside of this. Like so. John, you're supposed to be talking about the game. I really like the game, by the way. I think I made that clear during the video. But I like point and click games. The fact that it had voice acting in it just made all the difference as well. Like, I like the subject matter of the science fiction. I've not actually played Snatcher, but I'm unlikely to play Snatcher. I know that's by Hideo Kojima, but I know it's quite problematic nowadays. But the sort of the retro aesthetic I love. Just it being an old school point and click game. I love the fact that it's voice acted and quite well from as far as I can tell. I love I can't remember what was down here, but we should draw a scene, shouldn't we? I seem to remember a computer, which is now going to be that colour, even though black is actually clearly the obvious colour for the centre of computer. We have a bed, which I'm going to now put over there. Like so. We have a door, which is obviously going to be a pink door. We have a window outside, which will make a blue as well. It's being held open by this book, which I should have put in a different colour. Again, I'm getting caught up on the picture, aren't I? And not the, you know, the window should have been white. And not actually doing the review. That's sort of the fun of these bits. It's why I really enjoy it, because I can just sort of not talk and go, come on, I just explained it already. There was a charming robot personality. Talking to me. And I had a sink with a load of junk in it. There we go. It was kind of blue and blobbish, wasn't it? Right. I think that's a good enough picture. Is it? It looks like a terrible picture. I can't remember what was down here. So I'm just going to put stuff down here. Just some abstract shapes, and hopefully that will kind of remind me of an interface. So yes, mechanically it seemed fine. The only thing I can say is, like, I'm used to LucasArts games, and now LucasArts games will often use mouth for not just talk to, but for bite or pick, or, you know, drink or consume. And again, it will do clever things with that, and it seems to have lost that. Like, it's going to say, I'm not going to pick that up, I'm not going to pick that up, I'm not going to pick that up. Even though the dialogue was funny in of itself, the fact that sometimes the symbols meant subtly different things depending on context was like a thing that I thought those games have done a really good job of improving of. But I look forward to playing it again. It is immediately back in my come back to folder. Let's put some cyan in there as well. Improve the aesthetic. Like so, and hopefully that'll subtly convey some meaning. Who knows? So, yeah. Let's jump back to the past for the outro, shall we? After we hand this in, of course. It's supposed to be blobs. Will it count as blobs? F! It was even worse last time. Oh well. Blobs. Maybe we'll get blobs in our one night stand. Ah, you can get it back. Right, so that was 2064, read-only memories. Our next game is One Night Stand. After a night of fun, passion, and one too many drinks, you wake the next morning? Right. It is the morning to find a complete stranger lying naked beside you in bed. What do you do? In One Night Stand, explore the unknown bedroom and seek out clues to identify the stranger, who the stranger is, and what happened to bring you both together. You may resort to some unusual methods to find answers you're looking for, but take care not to prod and pry too much. A nosy guest quickly becomes an unwanted one. Will you stay and explore your relationship with a stranger? Will you escape when the opportunity presents itself? With 12 unique endings to discover, can you keep up the act long enough to find out what really happened? And it's won an Independent Games Festival finalist. What? No, it hasn't. It was a finalist. It didn't win. But I mean, it still did pretty well. Anyway, that sounds like something I wouldn't normally play, which is interesting. Let's cut quickly back to the game for our outro. Right. I've been John Proxy. This was Read Only Memories by Midboss. And it was a part of my Itch.iOdyssey. Thank you for watching. Now leaving the proximity.